Hello everyone and welcome to the Fruit Basket. Today we only are really planning on talking about a couple of things, mostly some news that came out of New York Comic Con and some other news surrounding that, like with what's going on with Spider-Man 2 and the DLC. Just recently, I think like almost an hour before I started recording, there was a new Creature Commandos trailer that went out. I believe there's I don't think it's new. I don't think it's new at all because I have seen it. But like there was a Daredevil trailer that people like showed online, leaked. But it's the same one that was leaked beforehand. I have seen the Creature Commandos trailer though. It looks amazing. It looks so incredible. I can't wait to watch that show. Same with Daredevil Born Again. Looks like an incredible show. Can't wait to watch it. I believe, yeah, it will be released on March 4th, so just a couple of months. I forget when Creature Commandos is coming out. Let's see. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at some of these things. Oh, it'll be out on December 5th, which is a bit weird because, it's all about monsters. You think it would be released sometime in October, like late October or earlier in November. Nope, December. It looks great though. I'm not gonna do like a reaction to it because I've already watched it. But I think it looks great. The animation's great. I like the concept of being like, oh, let's do Suicide Squad, but with like these mythical creatures. Cersei's in it. There was a little scene of Clayface as well. So yeah, I love how they're showing like, oh, there's gonna be like many different, like they're already kind of establishing some of the characters who we may not see all that much of in other projects, but like yeah, Clayface being in it is really cool. But yeah, it just looks like a lot of fun. Like I think the animation's really great, and I hope I don't know. I hope we get other projects like this, honestly. In terms of other news that came from New York Comic Con, it has been announced that Marvel is going to add another title to their Ultimate line, Ultimate Wolverine. And he's not going to be the Wolverine right away, apparently. He's going to be this universe's version of the Winter Soldier. If you kind of look at his costume a bit, it kind of looks like a red star. Like if you look at this one. And here's the thing, when I first saw this costume, I was like, I don't know how I feel. But actually, like, I don't know, especially with like a full look at it, I really like it. I really dig it. I think the only thing I'm not a fan of is the muzzle on his face and how it looks so different than everything else. But like in some images, you can barely tell. Like in this one, I feel like you can barely tell that is like different. But like when you look at this and you look at like other images, like that one doesn't even have the muzzle on it, and I think it's better when it has just a red stripe all the way down. But like this one, you can really tell. I'm not a big fan of that one. But let's just get into what the series is going to be about. So this is like the synopsis of it. In order to maintain control of their corner of the Maker's world, 3 members of his council, Magic, Colossus, and Omega Red, deploy their most lethal asset, the Winter Soldier. But who is the weapon behind the mask? Excuse me. Before Ultimate Wolverine arrives in January, readers will see him in action for the first time in a prelude story by Condon and Capuzio in Ultimate Universe 1 Year in #1, the special one-shot that concludes the first year of Marvel's new Ultimate Universe and sets up the next year of stories, including the Maker's long-awaited return. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I've been loving the new Ultimate Universe, especially Ultimate Spider-Man. It's going to be fun to see what they do with this new version of Wolverine. Like, I don't know, I'm outside of the muzzle, I think this suit is really cool. At first I wasn't aware of what exactly it was. I thought the Winter Soldier was going to be another character and they were going to go after Wolverine, but now knowing that he will be the Winter Soldier is pretty interesting to see where they go with this. We also have some other news for DC's Absolute Universe with a new title announced. We also got some more clarification on Absolute Green Lantern. That's going to be more of an ensemble book with Joe, John, Hal, and Guy, with Joe and Hal being the main characters, or at least like the bigger characters out of that ensemble. But we do have Absolute Martian Manhunter on the way by Denzen Camp and Javier Rodriguez. And here's the thing, when it comes to Camp, he is currently writing Ultimates, and seeing where this goes, because the synopsis for this, or at least the way that Camps describes it, is that Martians in this world, they're not really from Mars. This is one of the most dramatic reimaginings in the Absolute Universe. A FBI agent is invaded by a alien consciousness that selects Martian from his mind to describe what it is. The book is about a complete outsider's perspective on the world combined with a complete insider's view on the world. The series is John's slowly going insane, but in a really fun kind of way. That's a great way to explain it. But yeah, like, look at the way... there's something about this that's like... I think this is so cool. This is like taking the absolute, like, we're doing a new universe where everything you remember from the main universe, throw it away, we're doing our own thing. This is taking that but to the extreme, and I honestly really like it. I like the design, how alien it looks, because Martian Manhunter, he transforms himself to look like a man. I wish he looked more like an alien, and this is so alien, and I just love it. But yeah, also, like, with what Camp is doing in the Ultimate Universe and like what he's trying to say there, it's interesting what he's gonna have to say with this, especially when his main character is an FBI agent. So we'll have to see where that goes. I think that this is supposed to be like they're gonna make the main character John Jones, and this is gonna be, someone else. This is just gonna be like an outsider alien, obviously. It's gonna be interesting to see where this goes. I think it's gonna be tons of fun. I'm loving the Absolute line so much right now, even though we are only really one issue into it with Absolute Batman, which was so good. I'm excited for Absolute Wonder Woman 2, so same with Absolute Superman. I think the artwork for Absolute Green Lantern is really good, even though we don't know much about it. Absolute Flash, from the artwork, the singular artwork we got about that, it looks like it's gonna be fun too. I don't know, there's something really exciting about the Absolute Universe. All I'm waiting for now is like an Absolute Aquaman. But even though we didn't get an announcement for that, we did get an announcement that they're going to do a new Aquaman series. Which, finally, I don't think they have done an Aquaman series ever since they did Aquaman with him and with Arthur and Jackson Hyde, and then that just went nowhere, so that was disappointing. But yeah, a new Aquaman series is coming out, and we get Absolute Martian Manhunter. I'm really excited for this. Now, moving on, let's talk about an update to Spider-Man 2. Apparently, there is no additional story content that is planned for the game. And it's upsetting. And my first reaction to this was just, probably the same as a lot of people's, of like, what the hell? The game's been out for over a year now. No additional content. And at first, I was very mad, but I think some people have forgotten that Insomniac had a huge leak quite a while back ago. So, in terms of being favorable to that, I'll just say that's probably why they're holding off on some stuff. There was probably some stuff that got pushed back because the leak wasn't just content. It wasn't, the hackers who got into Insomniac didn't just get a hold of, content they were going to do. It was also like employees' personal information and shit like that. So I could understand them, putting a pause on production of certain things, or maybe not focusing so much on the content side as much as trying to protect their employees. But again, we don't know. This is all speculation. The fact that there is reportedly nothing planned, and so far this doesn't really come from like a source. Like, there's nothing sourced here. So who knows? But I figured I'd just bring this up because a lot of people have been talking about it. The fact that we haven't gotten really anything teased at all is definitely disappointing, but at the same time, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to Insomniac, especially in regards to what they did after the leak. So I'm at least going to give some leeway there. So that's really it when it comes to like the news side of things. I mean, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about in terms of that. I think this New York Comic Con has been pretty good, but it's not a lot of stuff I've been personally interested in. Outside of the few things we talked about, but outside of that, I wouldn't say there's been anything that was like been massive. Just trying to go down see if there is anything else to talk about. New images from Kraven the Hunter, yay. Can't wait. Oh my god. I think that's about it. I thought this was gonna take longer, but I guess not. So let's get into something that I wanted to talk about last week, but I didn't get around to it. And that is that we are a few months away from the final year that John Cena will be wrestling in the WWE. And I kind of wanted to talk about how I feel they should do his little, his little retirement tour. And this is me just kind of speculating what, or at least my hopes of what it's going to be. Now, I feel like if you're going to do this, you should obviously have him show up. And here's the thing. When it comes to John Cena's retirement, he said his last match will be at the end of 2025. So, we still have an entire year to fill out. He said he was going to be at WrestleMania. That will be his last WrestleMania. And my belief for this is that they should have this year be complete of John Cena's last. Like, they should try to do as much as they can with this, of being like, this is John Cena's last this match. This is John Cena's last appearance on this show. This is going to be his last or first of some things. So, this is going to be the last year he's going to be in a Royal Rumble match. This is going to be the last year he's going to be in an Elimination Chamber match. The last year he's going to be in a Money in the Bank match. Like, do what you can with him. And try to make it anything. Try to make him maybe not have as much matches as possible. Obviously, you need to, make sure he's not at risk of overworking himself or at risk of getting an injury, because he's not been a full-time worker for years now. So obviously, I'm not saying have him go out every single week. I'm just saying, if you have an opportunity to put him in a match that he's never going to be in again, you should probably take it. Honestly, you should. The only time I would probably not, the only time you shouldn't do nothing is that if there is the fear that he is not going to be able to make it to the end of the year to do his final match. But obviously, I think that they should try to do what they can with him without overworking, in a sense. I think he should be on most of the PLEs. I don't think you need to have him on every single one, but if you're going to do a big one, he has to be on it. If you want him to be in one, or one that has a special match into it, like Money in the Bank, or Elimination Chamber, or Royal Rumble, or Survivor Series, especially if they decide to do War Games again, which they more than likely will, because I don't think they're really going to stop doing War Games anytime soon when it comes to Survivor Series. So yeah, put him in the War Games match. Even if it doesn't make sense, just be like, yeah, he's in there. Because why not? I would love to see John Cena in a War Games match. That's something that you honestly would probably never thought you would see in your entire life, if we're going to be honest. Like John Cena War Games match, it doesn't even seem possible. But this is the year to do it. Like, this is the year you should be doing it. So, like, when it comes to how I feel like they should do this year, I'm going to go down some matches that I think you should definitely have or be in. So, like, the first PLE of the year is going to be Royal Rumble, which is happening in, like, the 1st of February instead of January. He should be in the Royal Rumble, obviously. He should also appear on the first show of 2025, whether that's SmackDown or Raw. So yeah, definitely put him in the Royal Rumble. Then for the Elimination Chamber, I don't think they would have him win the Royal Rumble. Who knows? But for the Elimination Chamber, I would definitely put him in an Elimination Chamber match for whatever World Championship doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. Or maybe put him in a title match at Elimination Chamber, have it be in the chamber. And then for WrestleMania, this is the first like PLE I think he should have a one-on-one match, and I think he should have it against Cody Rhodes. I honestly think that either him or Randy Orton, because with Cody Rhodes, I believe they should do it for a passing of the torch moment. And I think but you could also make the argument that it should be Randy Orton because, you know, they're they're long-term rivals. And if you're going to have one final match between the two of them, it should be at WrestleMania, if we're going to be completely honest. Like, if it's going to be anywhere, it should be WrestleMania. It should be. But, like, following that, I would definitely put him in, like, the Money in the Bank match. Maybe give him a world title match at SummerSlam. Put him in War Games. Maybe even put him in the Hell in a Cell match. Who knows? But, like, just try to do anything you can with him. Maybe even have him on a few NXT PLEs, have him have a few matches on NXT to kind of give some of the younger guys the rub. Like him versus Trick Williams would be really cool. Him versus like Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Wes Lee. I'm trying to think who else would be good. I think there's a lot of people who would be great, but it's just him versus Owen Femi would be great. I would love to see him versus Tony D'Angelo, too. That would be amazing. But when it comes to like main roster people, I would love to see him, you know, have a match with. CM Punk is obviously up there. I would go so far to say that CM Punk should be his last match if you're not going to do Randy Orton. Like, if you're going to go Cody Rhodes versus Cena at WrestleMania, Randy versus Cena should be the final match that he ever has. But if you're doing Randy versus Cena at WrestleMania, Punk, like, I don't know. To me, either Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, or CM Punk should be either his final WrestleMania match or his final match in general. Like, you should have 2 out of those 3 people be involved in those matches. Because, like, those to me are, like, the top 3. Like, these are the matches that have the most significance to them. In terms of with Cody, it's like WWE as a whole and moving forward is definitely important for that case, even though him and Cena don't have a lot of history with one another. But obviously, Orton and Punk have a lot of history with Cena, so those would just be impactful in terms of celebrating Cena's career. But I think that would be great. Other people, I would love to see him and Seth go at it one more time. Him and Roman. Him and Carmelo Hayes would be great. Him and Braun Breaker as well. Gunther versus Cena would be amazing. KO versus Cena, obviously you need to do that. Him versus Sammy, like, just there's so many people you could have a great match with Cena with. Him versus Dominic would be awesome. Unironically, I think that would be cool. Him versus Ray, just have 2 legends go at one another. Who else? I would honestly like to see him versus Andrade. I'm gonna be honest. I honestly think that would be a pretty fun match. Him versus Jacob Fatu would be incredible. Super Cena versus Jacob Fatu. Him versus R-Truth, you gotta do too. You honestly have to. Him versus Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, would be really cool. Like a little nod to Cena's history with Bray Wyatt. I think that would really work too. I don't know if they would bring any like legends back for a short period of time to face him. It would be cool if they did, but at the same time, it's just like, I feel like with this retirement angle, he should only really be having matches with people who are currently on the roster or are, very fresh. Like, people like in NXT who could use the rub. I mean, him versus AJ Styles also. Like, you have to have AJ Styles in there. Him and Cena have to have one final match. Hopefully, he heals up before 2025 is over. I don't know how long his injury will take to heal in terms of AJ Styles' most recent injury. I'm trying to think of others. Bronson Reed, I think, would be pretty fun, honestly. Ilya Dragunov, if he was healed at the time, would be great for John Cena. Him versus Jey Uso. Him versus... I already said Carmelo. Him versus Grayson Waller would be pretty fun. And it would be like a nice little callback to Money in the Bank when he gave him the not the FU, well, the FU before it got renamed. The AA. It'd be interesting to see where they go with this. To see like who they decide to get, like who they decide gets the Cena rub. Him versus Knight, you gotta do as well, LA Knight. With The Rock, also definitely The Rock is definitely gonna be a big name going forward when it comes to 2025, at least probably until WrestleMania. You have to have one final interaction with them. I mean, they did that at WrestleMania, but something a little bit longer maybe. That would be fun. I don't know what you would do with that though. Maybe SummerSlam, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I think they should probably just leave that be, but it would just be fun to see them interact at least once. But there's so much potential you could do with this. Again, I think out of all these things, I hope they really do, like the things I just listed, I think him being involved with NXT in some way needs to happen. Like have him have a few matches on NXT or at an NXT pay-per-view. Like something like that. They need to do it. I think him giving that rub to like, the younger talent is something that would be greatly appreciated by people in WWE. Also, I think it would just be really fun. Like there's tons of really good talent in NXT right now that I think should be given the chance to share the spotlight with Cena. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all I really gotta say. There's still a lot of stuff that's coming in when it comes to when it comes to New York Comic Con. Let me see. Is there any like updated stuff going on? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, I heard they announced Hush 2. They announced that Hush 2 was taking place with Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. I believe it's going to be in the mainline Batman book too. So they're not just going to give them their own book where they can just do the sequel for Hush. It's going to be in the mainline Batman book. And to me, that is just so stupid. I hate that. Oh god. I am not a fan. I really hope they do anything else with that. Like, alright, just make Hush 2 its own book. Please. Make Hush 2 its own book. Keep it away from the mainline Batman book, please. I'm not a fan. Ugh. But we'll see where this goes. I'm not excited. But yeah, I think that's all I really had to say when it comes to this.